a hero for sure in my world, and she does amazing things in this fine District 9. Give it up for us, Candy C. Tabaka, our City Council.
Welcome, everybody, and thank you for being here today. In the middle of the summer, we would say, oh, like, sunny day, it's a good omen. Well, in a day like this, in drought conditions, this snow is a good omen. God is shining down on us. One of the headlines in the newspaper today in the Denver Post said, first-time homelessness in Metro Denver doubled in 2021 over 2020. The content goes on later to highlight that people make up a disproportionately high percentage of the unhoused in the Denver area. And roughly 40% of people experiencing homelessness in Metro Denver are unsheltered on any given night. 40% of our homeless population is going to have to sleep in this tonight. This increase was anticipated by the experts in the field, but not this degree of an increase in homelessness. We had a housing crisis way before COVID. COVID exacerbated it. We called it a crisis, but we're now at humanitarian disaster levels. And this is a project doing something about it.
Amen.
There are some members of our community who've always been attuned to the humanitarian needs of our community. Long before COVID and long before modern versions of the current gentrification we're experiencing, the Wool folks have been serving the most vulnerable amongst us. In fact, over 20 years ago, they added transitional housing to their humanitarian work, and they'd already been doing for over 35 years.
Amen.
And being in this field, you know that not all of our housing projects, not all of our affordable housing efforts are touching Black and brown people in this city. But the Wool folks have been devoted to our community, Black and brown people and the inverted out here. We know that this neighborhood was once home to many people now making less than 50% of the area's median income. There are virtually no places for them to live in this entire neighborhood, and some would say in this city anymore. This project makes a substantial commitment to the people nobody else will serve. Those making below 30% of the area's median income. And they told you, if you guys were watching some of the news coverage around this project, when there were community members, newer community members, who decided to fight against this project, the news coverage pointed out that the Wool folks went to other developers. They went to our newcomer neighbors to ask if they wanted to partner on this endeavor. And they were shot down multiple times. And they persevered. And they rallied the community behind them to stand up for what is ours, to reclaim the corner of this neighborhood. 36 apartment units will come to this corner as a beacon of home and hope for those who may not have known any other home but 5 Points. It'll be a beacon for people who are often segregated in community integration efforts in this city. We didn't allow, just until recently, we didn't allow people re-entering society from jail and prison to even be amongst other residential properties. We excluded them, segregated them to industrial areas only. We slightly changed that rule this past year, but there were people who fought back against it. And even in spite of that, we persevered here. This developer that has partnered with the Wool folks has partnered with our successful partners, the Second Chance Center in Aurora, who are proving what it means to give housing to someone re-entering society, what it means to give housing to anyone struggling in society. This project gives access to all the things that someone in transition might want. Beyond being on and near several transit lines and opportunities, the Welton Corridor, which is our only historical corridor was our only historical corridor up until a couple of months ago. It gives them walking access to numerous services and opportunities. It gives them access to community. People have built a social fabric here that will help people re-enter society. There's work here that can be done by the people who will inhabit these apartments. This project, in every way, helps to advance city and community efforts toward eliminating homelessness, achieving housing equity, and helping residents regain stable, healthy, and productive lives. I urge you to continue supporting this project. They're going to need our help not only through construction, but also after construction. When we get residents in here who want to be productive members of society, connect them to the resources you have. Invite them into your workspaces. Make sure that they know that they have a community wrapping their arms around them to support them. This team has overcome all obstacles and persevered like Eastsiders know how. And I am so proud to have worked with them, to continue being their neighbors, to continue loving them and loving our community together. So thank you all for being here to celebrate.